A little while ago, or to be precise 6 episodes ago, I took a look at a JC Wings 737MAX8 in the standard livery of LOT, but JC Wings has also released this special livery LOT MAX aircraft, which we will take a look at thanks to our great partner here on the channel, Jumbolino Model, who currently have a sale going on, but detached from the Black Monday or month things, also have permanently lowered their prices, so do check them out. You can find a link to them in the video description below. With that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 737MAX8 of LOT Polish Airlines. At the front of the box we already have the branding and the rendition of the aircraft. Now on the back side of the box that is then continued, but here we then also get another rendition with a top-down view on the aircraft, so that's quite nice. Of course, again, we have the LOT Polish Airlines branding. We do also have the branding matching the special livery of the aircraft model, so celebrating the independence of Poland. And of course, we get more details about the aircraft type in the specifications section of the box. And here she is, the Boeing 737MAX8 in the Proud of Poland's Independence livery of LOT Polish Airlines. This is an aircraft model that I have already reviewed in Scale 500, so if you are interested, do check that out. But today we focus on this JC Wings Scale 400 aircraft model. Now, if you know me, of course, I prefer standard livery aircraft models, but luckily JC Wings has also released this in the standard livery. And that is really great because it gives collectors the choice whether they want to have one or the other, or maybe both. And I'm all for giving collectors choices, so that's really great. So how has JC Wings done with this special livery 737MAX8 of LOT Polish Airlines? Let's find out by taking a closer look at it. Now, on the stabilizer here at the back of the aircraft, we have the normal LOT Polish Airlines branding with the Polish flag integrated into that design. Then on the fuselage here we of course then again see the Polish flag that is then going across the entire fuselage, but here in the back we then have the statement Proud of Poland's Independence. We have the full registration code of the aircraft, we have the IATA logo, we have the aircraft type specification, we also have fairly decent detailing in the back cabin door. We also have some detailing around the APU exhaust, both in physical and in printed detailing, so that is really lovely. Also underneath here we find a little bit more printed detailing. Now, as mentioned, the Polish flag then goes across the entire fuselage all the way to the front into a graphic basically depicting Poland. Here we then of course also have the LOT Polish Airlines branding. We have a Star Alliance logo of which the airline is a member. We have plenty of small markings, hatches, that's really lovely. Underneath the cockpit windows we have the last 2 letters of the registration code. We then have some signage here that is all related to the livery and the independence of the country, and that leads us straight to the cockpit section itself. Here we then have the cockpit windows with the metallic edges around those. We have the window wipers and also some really lovely detailing in form of, for example, the petrol tubes, or also some lovely printed detailing around the radome. Very nice. The engine nacelles have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but have the silver leading edge printed on, as well as some safety markings, some hatches, that's really cool, and also the LOT Polish Airlines branding once again. And we also have the chevron nozzles really nicely detailed on this aircraft model, and of course overall the physical detailing is really nice, especially here also from the front where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. Now on the fuselage just above the wings we have the emergency exits printed on. That leads us straight on to the wings, which you should definitely also take a closer look at because we have some lovely detailing here in form of the flap slats and spoilers that have been carved out very nicely, but we also have the markings as to where to walk on the wing. We also have the markings for the emergency exits very nicely detailed here. That's a really lovely job. The underside of the wings has more nice physical detailing and of course also the full registration code of the aircraft once again. The 737MAX8 has been given these lovely winglets, where we also have the LOT Polish Airlines branding printed on by JC Wings. They have done a great job with that. My personal highlight, however, is the fact that we have the landing lights printed on. Oh my god, look at all these lovely models. Oh, I'm sorry that I interrupted your review, but we'll get back to that model in just a second. But just check out all these lovely models. And perhaps you're like me and you just don't know which one you should add next to your collection, because here you're truly spoiled for choice with all the scales and all the die-cast manufacturers that you can find at the Jumbolino Model store. so do check them out. You can find a link to them in the video description below. The landing gear, as usual for JC Wings, just made entirely out of metal except for the wheels. That's of course made out of plastic, but we have some lovely detailing in form of, for example, the wheel caps. So overall really nice work here. Also the front landing gear is really not too bad, and what I personally really like here is of course that we have some printed details. That's always a highlight for me. And if you like this type of feature, then I can also tell you that this is rolling wheels, so the landing gear is rolling. If you would like to toy around with it, you can do so. On the belly of the aircraft, we then have a hole in the fuselage. Unfortunately, for a standard is not included with this aircraft model, and it does also destroy this detail here of the LOT Polish Airlines branding, so that's not so nice. But we have plenty of printed details overall here, which is quite nice, and for example, the ram air intakes, and also physical detailing in form of antennas. So yeah, the belly of the aircraft overall really looking quite nice. Also, on top of the fuselage, we find a nice mix of physical detailing and printed detailing, again with antennas. We also have a set dome and some further small printed details here, really adding overall to the aesthetics of the aircraft model. So really nice work here from JC Wings. And then last but certainly not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments added here at the back of the aircraft and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the Proud of Poland's independent special livery of LOT Polish Airlines from JC Wings in scale 1 to 400. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Now overall, I think JC Wings has done a really decent job with this aircraft model, although I would not call it the perfect scale 400 aircraft model. For that, there are a few things that I noticed. I mean, it's nothing major, it's nothing that is a deal breaker for me. But when we, for example, look at the print overall, the quality is not bad, but a few places here and there, it feels like, it's not quite as sharp as it could be or should be, maybe a little bit rushed. With the standard livery model, I had more issues with the landing gear. In this case, I think it is fine, although also it could be a little bit more refined overall in its making. But when it comes to the physical detailing, I think JC Wings has a really solid mold for the 737. I really do like it. Especially the wings, I think, has a really lovely combination of physical and printed detailing for me. I really do like their work here. But as I said, overall, the model feels not super refined. It is really not bad, don't get me wrong, this is complaining on a high level, but I have seen other scale 400 aircraft models from JC Wings and also other manufacturers which just seemed a little sharper in their overall making. But what I really like here is the fact that we have the 737 in the special livery, but they also at the same time released a standard livery aircraft model because it just gives collectors the choice whether they want to have one or the other or maybe both. They don't have to wait around for years guessing if they perhaps will see a standard livery aircraft model, but they do have the choice from day one, and that is something I really do appreciate. Now, as I said, any complaints I have about this aircraft model is really complaining on a very high level. It's nothing that is a deal breaker. It's nothing that I would say, or I would not be able to recommend this aircraft model. I think this is a solid scale 400 aircraft model, and anyone who has grabbed it can be quite happy with it, in my opinion. In any case, if you would like to see more of these scale 400 aircraft model reviews, then please let me know in the comment section down below. I would really appreciate to hear your feedback on that. And of course, leaving a like is also always a big help, as well as hitting subscribe if you should be new around here. With that, thanks so much for having watched today's episode and hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out and bye.